Alright, exactly what am I doing, you're thinking? Well, I just bought this Champion dual fuel generator. It will run on either gasoline or propane. I like the idea of running it on propane because you don't have as much chance of screwing your carburetor up in between uses. But if you don't have any propane, you want to use gasoline, then there you go. The reason I bought it, we live just on the, not on the coast, but we're far enough to the coast to where if a hurricane comes through, we get hit. And tornadoes are not unknown around this area either. I mean, we get tornadoes. So last year, the big hurricane that came through and tore up Puerto Rico and those places down there, it didn't do us any good either. A lot of people in the area didn't have power for weeks, days and weeks. Fortunately, our power went off only for a few hours at a time. But when we heard the hurricane was coming last year, you couldn't buy a generator for love nor money. I mean, nobody had them. And they didn't have them for months and months afterwards because I guess they were sending them all down to Puerto Rico or something. So just recently has our Tractor Supply started getting these in stock on a regular basis. They'd have them sporadically, and you go down and look and they were gone. But the wife told me the other day, we're getting a generator this year or else, because she doesn't want to be without or me either, out without our refrigerator and freezer and some air conditioning and stuff. And we don't have enough problems to where I want to pay the price for a whole house generator that's hooked to the house and it automatically comes on. This isn't a life-threatening type area where in the wintertime you're going to freeze to death if you don't have some heat. No, we're not going to freeze to death around here. But I don't want to be without electricity either, so we decided to bite the bullet and get a generator, and assuring that now that I've got one, we'll never have a power outage again. So, nobody wants to spend the money to get one ahead of time because, you hate to spend money when you don't need it, but when you need it, you sure wish you'd have spent the money. So, here it is. Alright, let's see if I can get into this thing. This thing weighs a ton. There was no way I was going to get this off the truck by myself without the help of my tractor, which is one reason I didn't buy it before I got the tractor, because I knew I was going to need it to get it off the truck. Find is instructions, and they're zip tied to the handle. instructions. I might even read it. There's some sort of box over here on the side. Yeah, I'm going to have to tear into the box a little bit. These are probably going to be your propane hoses and so forth. Oh, wheels. Okay, so what do we have here? Got the wheels. That's the some assembly required part. Okay. Give you a funnel. That's nice. Look like some. Give us some wheels, bumpers, or something. Have to look. Some. Give you some oil, and there's your hose for your propane tank. Alrighty then. Obviously, I won't be lifting that out of the box, so I'm going to have to tear the box up. Okay, I've got the box broken down. Okay, let's take a look at it here. Alright. There we got a battery. Oil, battery, cables, fuel selector switch. Go from gas to must be gas or liquid propane. Circuit breakers, you got 2 outlets. Oh, that's tight. Holy cow. Golly. Handle. Wow, I can lift one in. Alright, now I gotta figure out how to get the wheels on. Okay, the instructions say, and yeah, went ahead and read them. It says to tip it over on its side. Of course, you want to do this before you put fuel or oil or anything like that in it. But it says tip it over on its side. I think I can do that. Ain't too bad. Alright. And that's so you can install the wheels. And you've got to put this bumper here. All that right there. Maybe you want to see it or not. Now, there's a lot of people that like these sort of unboxing videos, so what the heck, thought I'd show it. Maybe you can see that. Before I go any further, I think I'll see what size nuts those are. Okay, it would appear that they are 12 millimeter. Socket won't fit on that side, and it ain't gonna fit on that side either, so I'm gonna have to get 2 12 millimeter wrenches. Right. Easy enough. Now we get to put the wheels on. So let's see if I can get the wheels on. All right, the wheels have the 2 axles or bolts, whatever you want to call them, and a couple of retainer pins. So let's see. They're kind of squishy, and it don't exactly line up. Not exactly. I'm gonna have to give myself a little clearance in there. So I'm gonna have to wedge something up under there. Or I could, let's see, I'd be able to tilt it back a little bit, but that ain't gonna work. Can't hold it and do it at the same time. Oh, I'm gonna use some scientific principles. Leverage. Stick a block of wood under there. Okay, got the retainer pin. Then. Let's see if I can get this side. Doing something by yourself, you have to be creative, but you can get it done. You just think about it. All right. Now we can turn it back over. First, I'll get this cardboard out of the way. Some of it. All right. Now let's see if we can roll it. There we have rolling. Now let's roll it off the cardboard. Well, let's see, where can I keep it? Got a couple of choices. Thinking about keeping it underneath that workbench when I'm not using it. But it doesn't look like it will fit under there, but may have to cut this piece out here. The reason I built this that heavy is because before I turn this into a wood shop, I restored an old Mustang in here, and I used the bench to put the engine block on. So I made that bench super strong and put a lot of extra bracing in here. Let's see how close we are. It's going to be close. Probably going to have to cut that piece out now. Let's see. I'll roll it up, see how it is. Oh, it just won't barely fit, but it'll fit if I take that other piece out. It'll roll right up under there. Yeah, good place for it. Alright, now let's see if it works. Okay. First we need to put oil in. It feels oily, so they probably ran it at the factory and then drained it back out for shipping. It says to use 1.2 quarts, and that's exactly what's in here, 1.2 quarts, according to the bottle. Come on. Come on. Golly, it's getting weak. It was handy of them to include the oil in the funnel. Oh, this must have still been some in there from the factory. Didn't take the whole. I'm gonna have to drain some more out. That sucks. Guess I should have paid attention, huh? Great. Okay, so I fixed my screw up with putting too much oil in it. I drained some oil into this cup, and it says it holds 1.2 quarts, which is what this jug says. It's 1.2 quarts. There was that much oil in it. I mean, that's almost half of the bottle. So obviously they didn't drain it very much before they shipped it. Thanks a lot for that. So beware of that. Alright, so now it looks like we connect the battery up. Okay. Gonna push these covers off. covers don't go back on there too good. Okay, now I just thought of something. Let's see, that's needs to go there, and I'm going to use a screwdriver there, and that could touch the chassis, and that's not real smart. So maybe I ought to put the other on first. Where did the other one go? Where did it There. Covers don't want to stay on. There. That was harder than it needed to be. Alright, let's see what's next. Oh, it didn't show. If your battery's dead, you gotta pull start here. And of course there's your air cleaner. See what else did I show? Okay, I've got a tank here. I haven't used it in a couple of years, but it feels like they've still got some in it. Here's where you hook your gas. If you're going to use gasoline, you flip it over to there and you turn your petcock to on. If you're going to use propane, flip it here, and then once you get that hooked up, you turn that to on. Then it says you set the choke here to like 75%. That's choke, that's run. And then you flip your battery to on, and then you hit your start. And it should crank up if you're lucky. So that's already hooked it to the tank. This is the hose provided. It said not to use any thread sealant on it. So, ouch, my knee. Ow, ow, ow. Tighten that up. Okay, let's see what happens. You're gonna see it live on here. Hope it doesn't blow up. All right, turn your tank on. Okay. Set my choke to like, it said like 75%, so not sure if it makes any difference. But. All right, hit the battery switch to on. Oh, turn that on. Turn your gas on. Battery switch to on. All right, here goes. And nothing so far. Well, shucks. Let's turn the choke down a little bit. Okay. So, there you have it. My review or unboxing or whatever you want to call it on the Champion dual fuel. It's the 9,375 starting watts, 7,500 running watts, and that, I wonder if that has to do with what fuel it's running. The other one says 8,400 starting watts and 6,750 starting watts. I'll have to look that up, I guess. Not sure what the difference is. And you've got a different style plug here with a ground. Got a rotating 120, 240, and you got two 120 with plug in 4 different items. There's your circuit breaker, 30 and a 20 amp. So there you have it. You saw it live and you saw it work, so I'm satisfied. Thanks for watching. Okay, so I cut that piece out right there, and I moved some of the other junk out of the way. It slides up under there just right. So I'll get a cover and put over it, and that's an ideal spot for when it's not being used. Take it out once in a while, crank it up. It'll even come in handy for doing some workout in the corner. Got an electric chainsaw and a tree saw and some clippers and so forth. I won't have to run 5 miles of electrical cord out there. I can just run that out there and hook something up to it and use it.